I think we're good. Welcome to another stream. This is Shop Stream 12, documenting this idea I had to try to make wide body kits and showing the process along the way. We started with kind of mocking off our Civic wide body that we made with steel back in the day, and then we kind of progressed to creating custom kits in 3D modeling. We learned plasticity. I still have a lot of skills that I need to develop, but we're getting a little bit better. We learned a little bit of 3D scanning, and today we're kind of combining it all into one, where we're taking a 3D scan, our 3D modeling software, and our skills that we learned along the way, and we're going to make something in real life, just like we did at the start. So it's going to be 3D printed. Now, I'm back and forth on whether I should do 3D printed part encapsulated in fiberglass, or if I should do 3D printed mold with a fiberglass part released out of it. So let me know what you guys think. I've seen it both on the internet. It's all over the place. Some people say it's a terrible idea to encapsulate parts. Some people have already done entire cars like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe having the 100% fiberglass part might be a little bit better. And I'll just make the mold so I can make a couple parts if needed. Or if he ever needs replacement parts, it'd be a little bit easier that way. But I'm not sure. I'm still kind of up in the air about it. So let me make sure the chat's working here. I'm sure it is. But I just want to make sure we're all good. Hello. And then I won't be... Usually I'd make a post on Instagram right away saying, hey, we're live, you know, but there we are. Not today, because I actually got rid of my Instagram. We were getting too busy. So when I started my company, my business here, I was working on the NSX. Things were going good, but then things were not going so good after a while, so I had to start working on some other service projects, basic like maintenance and repair stuff, and we got through that, but it was pretty tight. So now, fast forward 6 months, we are finally profitable. I've got like 6 different projects going on right now in the shop, and then 2 projects going on in the digital world that we're working on today. And I actually had to turn off basically advertisement. I had to say stop. All right, I'm focused on my current customers right now. I'm maybe finding local customers, but I've got enough work now where I could just show up to the shop, turn some hours, and go home, which is pretty sweet. And should not have eaten that fruit snack off the floor. I've got I've got my pick of it too. Show up, kind of work on what I want to prioritize, depending on where the money's flowing, and I don't know, things are finally working out. So there might not be as many people in this stream today, but I just want to kind of document my journey here as I'm learning how all this works. So I'm going to explain it the best I can for anybody watching. But basically, this scan right here, let me simplify it down. Get rid of these sheets here. This scan was sent to me by our customer that we're working with. If you guys remember, we started with this guy. See if I can find the whole car here. I've got to model the whole thing. Yeah, remember that? We started with the whole car. I should be able to turn the whole thing on. There we go. So we start with that. Pretty cool. Now, all the scaling and everything is off on this car here. I can see if I can move it on over so we can kind of have them side by side. So yeah, as you can see, the scaling's off. So we got them lined up pretty good. So, but if I were to scale them to be exactly the same size, you could actually see that these wheels up here are closer together than these wheels down here. So the model we were working with is just the Audi A8. And the actual car that we're designing the kit for is an Audi A8L. So it's got a longer wheelbase. So they consider this the Audi A8L. This is the D4 generation. I've seen it online. I found a blueprint and it's called the Audi A8, and they call it the LWB for long wheelbase. And all it is the distance from here to here is, I think, 5 inches longer on Alijo's Audi compared to the regular Audi that we were modeling off of. But do I regret working off of this Audi? No, I do not, because we were able to design a kit, you know, get our general design language down, figure out what looked good before we committed to getting the scan done. And I don't think I got the scanner here, but I used the OnStar Vega, little handheld scanner. It's standalone, so you don't need to plug it into your powerful laptop. And the thing just works. And I had Alijo do 3 scans. It had the whole side, in the front corner and the rear corner, and you could see those holes where he had markers. And I could smooth this out, but I purposely didn't do any smoothing. I deleted a couple portions, but I didn't do any smoothing, and I purposely left holes where the markers were, just to help me align his entire side profile scan, and then the front and the rear. So here's the side, and I'll load up the front and the rear for you. Oops. So there's the front and the rear, and I tried to get them all overlapping, and that's why I left the holes. But it looked as though on the rear, between the full side profile scan and then the new scan, it looked like maybe some stickers were added and removed, but the front was easier to align. So the front aligned actually really well, but the rear was off a little bit. I can actually pull up, I got a blueprint here. It's blurry, I didn't buy the whole thing. But you could see the front was pretty damn good, but the rear, these 2 angles were off. So if I line up this angle here with the actual angle of the bumper, you can see how the scan, that body line kind of kicks up a little bit. Oops. The body line kind of is kicked up a little bit. So I found that kind of odd. Everything else lined up all right. You can see, like, I've got this line right here, this body line where the door is, that's perfect. But if that's perfect and this one's all right, you know, then why is this kicked out? So I found that kind of strange. But the front looks pretty good. It's out of place right now, but the front scan was pretty good. However, the side profile was the best one by far. I think this one was mapped using texture and markers. So this one actually, when I opened up the 3D file, it actually just looked like a photograph. You could see the shiny black reflection of the car. And that is like the hardest, this would be like one of the hardest things ever to scan this vehicle, because 3D scanners that don't have a blue laser technology, they really don't like black shiny surfaces that are flat, and that's exactly what we got here. There's very little like detail, there's very little artifacts for the scanner to kind of hold on to and use as a reference point. So that's why Alijo had to use so many markers. And it's just, I think just with the imaging, the glossy black reflection doesn't work very well. So yeah, I'm glad getting the whole thing covered was the best. Now, say his car was really messy, say it was like covered in salt or covered in dirt and stuff, it actually would have scanned a lot better. But his car's pretty clean, so he had to use a ton of markers. So, but that's how, that's kind of how I figured and double checked that our body lines look good, at least for the most part. And you'll notice that we're missing a couple chunks here, so it's no big deal. I just had to use a little bit of my surface modeling skills to figure that out. But let me open up a chat document here so I can see what you guys are saying. But basically, like, notice this section's gone, and then this section's gone, but you can kind of use your imagination and use the other scans and use the blueprint to kind of fill in the gaps. So this piece was more of a problem, because obviously right here, all the surfaces where the kit's gonna mount up to are there, so that's no biggie. All here, where the kit's gonna mount up, is pretty good, except for down here. There is a section of the kit that does mount down here. I'll show you. This one right here. Well, yeah, the rear quarter piece. It does mount up down there, so that definitely needed to be addressed. And what I did is I basically just drew a box and I curved these a little bit to match the profile of the car as best as I could. Let it load here. So as best as I could, follow the contour of the car. You can see there's a very slight curve there. And I like it to kind of intersect into the bodywork there, just so it's all one piece. And if I go like, let's see, I think I confirmed it into a sheet, maybe not. Oh yeah, I go like this, boop. You can see we can patch it up just like that. And then you can actually use this as a cutting operator. But I just really want to use this as a reference, and then when I build a kit, I was able to build it right to this sheet instead of just building a kit on flat air, you know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I'm working with for the front and the rear. So what I ended up doing, and here we got the different sheets. So I couldn't modify the solids. So all the pieces that we made before were solids. For example, we'll just take the rear end here. So we'll take this guy, move it on up, and there's not much I could do. I could take the whole thing. Oh, this is actually off the other side of the car. I got one from this side. Let's see. It's been so long since I've been on here. I might have deleted it. But anyway, what you can do with these solids, you can select it, and then you can scale it. So I could scale it this way, which I did have to do. I remember I had to scale up the kit a little bit to make it fit. So I scaled the front and the back, I think about like 103%. Before, I just used like the 20-inch rim to scale the model of the car, but it was off, of course. So you could scale it this way. Then you can also scale it this way, and I had to do that as well. So both kits I had to enlarge, and then I also had to stretch out, which makes sense for the longer wheelbase. You can make them a little taller, so you can do that, but you can't really make it conform to the car any better. Yeah, you can even make it like stand out more or whatever, but yeah, you can't get it to really conform to the car any better. So what I had to do was take this surface here. So I just have to do the face at one point. I duplicate it, take it out, and then we'll say we want it to match up to the car. We'll get rid of this solid real quick. Say we wanted to take this and mount it on the car. You can now do that by rebuilding the face surfaces. So obviously right now it's like, all right, this is not going to fit the car at all. You know, it's for the other side. You know, look at this gap here. That's not going to work. So basically, what I did, because my gaps here and here, they weren't even. I mean, they were close, but they weren't good enough. You know, they weren't going to cut it. So what I ended up doing was I take the face here and I rebuild it. And I go tolerance. And let's see. Oh, I don't want to use it for an inch. Hold on. Let me shut that door. Then let's see here. Okay, yeah, so I was able to rebuild the faces. Hello? That one's rebuilt. Supply cannot be used for an edge. I don't need. Oh, it might be because I'm already touching the car. Yeah, I gotta get it off the car a little bit. Well, now, of course, it doesn't want to work. Oh, there we go. There it worked for a second. All right. Well, this is way out of whack. But basically, you can control these faces. I'm not sure why this one doesn't want to work. That's interesting. But I was able to rebuild these I don't know why I can't rebuild that one. Where basically I take these surfaces, and when you rebuild them, you get all these different points, and you can kind of change exactly where you want those points to be, how dense you want this grid to be for adjustment. So I rebuild the face, and then to get those gaps right, say we're not touching the car here, like it looks perfect now, but it didn't before. What you can do is select one of these points here, and whoop, and you can kind of mold and bend the kit exactly as you need to kind of get it working out. T Commander, welcome. This is plasticity software. So that's how I was able to get the kit to form the scan, where before it was just formed to the model. And you can really fine tune this. And the cool part is, even if you're doing an adjustment like this, it doesn't really, I was worried that like when I was adjusting the edge along the car, like for example right here, see how I was kind of cutting in a little bit? All I gotta do, select this and just pull it out just a tiny bit. And there we go. Now right on that surface. So that's gonna be perfect fitment, given the constraints of 3D printed warping and fiberglass warping and stuff like that. But as you can see, it's very, very cool that you can do that. But you got to take it back down to surfaces, so it's like you're working with sheets of paper, and then we're gonna have to take those surfaces and make them solid again. But that's no big deal. We've done plenty of that. Oh yeah, this is plasticity, T Commando. This is plasticity. It's a surface modeler using the Xnerves and like step format. It's a little bit different than Blender and that kind of stuff. Leo, yeah, that's a cool feature. Yeah. Welcome to the chat, brother. Try to get this sorted out so I can read a little better. My laptop's my second monitor, but I only have like a small laptop, so I really gotta look over here. So yeah, that's how I ended up making it work. I was kind of worried I'd have to rebuild it all from scratch, but that saved me a bunch of time. And you can see, because I wanted to make sure when I did all those adjustments that the reflections didn't get all messed up. Because that's the last thing we need, is get the kit on the car and then it's like all wavy. Nobody likes a wavy body kit, they look cheap that way. So if I open up the reflections here, you can see it's perfect. Nice, smooth reflections, front and rear. So we're all good. So that's nice to see. Yeah, so this is the Leo. I made this patch to fill up this gap here, and it conformed to the body of the car really well. Here's the inside of the scan, what it looks like from there. So that's basically how I did that, to make a long story short. Now when it comes time to 3D print these, so you can see like here we got it dialed in pretty good. I want to make sure these gaps are good. I'm doing the best I can with the scan data I have. So you can see I purposely didn't smooth it because I wanted to be the one to draw the line between the peaks and valleys to find out exactly where I wanted to mount it. And of course, once you get it printed out in the real world, or you get the fiberglass model in the real world, then you could sand and add filler wherever you need to. So there's always going to be a little bit of post-processing, especially in composite work. But yeah, you can come up with a lot of really cool stuff here. So for example, yeah, this looks pretty good. I wanted to make sure when you look at this straight on, look like the front is maybe sticking out a little too far. So I might shrink this whole thing just a little bit. And that's pretty easy, but it's going to throw off our gaps. But that's no big deal. Like I said, we can fix that. So to shrink it a little bit, I just go like this. Boop. And bring it on down. We don't want to shrink it down. We just want to move it down. Bring it on down a little bit. All right, about there. And bring it to the right a little bit. Close that gap up again. We want to make it pretty even on both sides here. So that kind of closed that up nice. That's a little bit more like it. Now you can see, now we're kind of biting in there a little bit. So we go back to the face. Click on this. And we rebuild it. Go to tolerance. And yeah, you can fine tune it, but it can be kind of a mess, you know. But yeah, you could really fine tune it. Like I think it even goes under 0.01 millimeters, which is nuts. You can see now we're cutting into the body of the car here, and we don't want that. So what we can do is we can either recreate the surface of the car and use it as a cutting tool, or you could just take this. Let's put it like, yeah, we'll put well, maybe we'll do 6. You gotta kind of play with it a little bit to find out what's the perfect adjustment for you. But it seems like the smaller the number, the tighter that grid is, and the more adjustment you have. But that's not always a good thing, because you kind of want to do like large portion moves at a time. And otherwise, like if you're just moving small sections, that's when you're gonna get waves. And we don't want that. So anyway, now we have all these control points we can mess around with. So we're looking pretty good, except for along this edge here. So we're just gonna go ahead and take these. Actually, we'll just start by taking these here. And I'll just move them on out. And just watch the magic happen here. Oh shit. Alright, so then I'm just gonna take this one. Move it on out, perfect. I might have went a little too far there. So yeah, just till it's on the edge there. And like I said, at this point, we just gotta trust the 3D scan. This is the best scan we got so far, so I'm trusting it. And just like that, we are right on the body of the car. Oh, look at that, we got a little gap up there. That's okay, because we can fix that. Yep, so we're gonna wanna move this guy, and even this guy, and this guy. Just, well, mainly just this guy, actually. We'll try to move him in. Okay, so that closes that gap. So we want to actually keep that one out. Maybe just move this one up and in a little bit. Alright. Looking pretty good. And then I think we can even move this one a tiny bit, as long as it doesn't warp. Okay, yep, we'll move that one in a little bit. Actually, no, we're not going to move that one in, because we want to maintain this curve here. Yeah, that looks good. We don't want to mess up. We don't want to mess up this line. We want this line to be perfectly straight. So I'll make sure I didn't mess that up there. No, that looks good. Let's see. Is there anywhere? There's a tiny gap there. I'm not too worried about that one. That's not that bad. You can see if maybe moving this one. Close that up just a tiny bit. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. I'm only moving kind of in and out, so then when you look from the side profile, it's still the same nice curve there. Because if I start moving these up and down in this direction, then that's going to mess up our curve that we work so hard to lay out. So get this as nice as we can. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's hard because this car, it's got a lot of curves, but they're so subtle. So it looks like here, it's like all these, they just got to be moved in just a little bit. So I'm just going to select pretty much this whole grid here. And maybe this guy. And I'm just going to move him in a tiny bit. Okay, so we're starting to cut in there. So we'll move back out. And then up here, a tiny gap there. So I'm just going to take this guy and this guy. Is there a gap up on top there? Yep, we'll take this guy and we'll just move him in a little bit. Yep. All right, so that one's touching. So then I'm just going to take this one, move it in, and it's touching. And that's going to be pretty damn good right there. You try to move maybe these guys in just a tad. There we go. So now we are on the car. It does not get much better than that. We're even nibbling into it a little bit, but I don't care about that. It's perfect. So we are good. Biting in a little bit there. It's no big deal. So that's how I basically achieve perfect fitment with these guys. Now we still need that inner lip here. So to create that, I'm going to go back to the straight on squared view here, which I believe is, yeah, this one here. Then I'm going to, let's see, I could duplicate that inner edge. Bring it on down. Scale it down a little bit if you wanted to, or you can just scale it this way just to get that to line up again. This is that. And I think I remember we made the edge a little bit thinner. We didn't want it to go too crazy. Oops. A little bit thinner than that factory edge there. So some kind of like that. Make sure we're looking good from the side. We can pull it out just a tiny bit. Give them a couple extra millimeters of clearance there. And I believe, yeah, that should be good. I think I actually had these going straight before. So we'll rotate it a little bit. Yeah, because I think I had these lines going pretty much straight out. So we'll draw lines there. Jeez, that is a real tight tie. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. But then it's like, yeah, you get as tight as you want, but you got to make sure that your printer's not going to warp anything, and you know, all the post-production looks good. But yeah, we like to get it as close as possible. I said this is a pretty damn good scan, so it's nice to work with. Then yeah, kind of like I'm just glad we're past a lot of the 3D modeling portion. So if I could just take this edge here, I wonder if I could draw it out of a tangent. Because I remember I had these like perfectly square before. It was kind of nice. I guess it would be the closest, wouldn't it? No. So look at it from the bottom. I want this line to be pretty much straight across. Nope, trim that piece up. Oh, did I touch him? Oh, no. How did I do this again? It's been so long. I want to rotate this a little bit. Maybe a little less. Bring it on in. Alright, that's a little bit more like it. And I can rebuild this curve. Or actually just gonna put a couple. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, ask away. There's a lot to take in here. Duplicate this, and then I gotta rebuild it. I gotta go to that point there and extend it. Whoop. So just extend that. I'm gonna do that to both sides. That's gonna give this edge here kind of like a disappearing edge as it goes from a kind of like a hard, sharp edge into a flat with the kind of the curvature of the kit. A little hard to explain, but you'll see in a second here. Yeah, okay. Now I want to take this guy. I'm gonna move it to about, I guess, like here. I gotta delete that first. Unsupported curve type can only set endpoints in simple curves, splines, and circles. Oh, I don't think this knows it's a curve again. I gotta rebuild it. Days. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Alright. Hello. Are you making a Y body? I just got here. Yes, I am. So we actually already made it. Now I'm making it fit onto a 3D model here. So I'm just doing some very fine tuning. Just because it's been a while since we worked with it. We still got surfaces here. But I want to make sure, maybe it's going to be easier if I just take, let's see, I think it's going to be easier if I do this. Like that. And then just make a new curve from here. From about here all the way to make sure you get built right on that curve about there. And then we'll delete these segments here. Don't need you. Oop. I guess we do need him. I want to keep that there. Make sure you guys are intersecting here. Take this. And you want to rebuild it. Make a curve out of it, maybe? We'll go like this. Go back to the circle. Go back to the old school method. But either way, I'll show you what kind of software you get to make all that. Yeah, so this is yeah, we're making over fenders, yeah, body kit, and this is Plasticity 3D. So I've really enjoyed using this. Been wanting to start mine, start with fiberglass, then carbon fiber. Yeah, that's the way to do it. A little bit cheaper to mess around with. Let's see here. I'm trying to just make a nice, actually we should put this piece on first before I make the whole curve maybe. Or maybe I can copy the curve from the original piece. I'm not sure. We'll leave those there as guides. Duplicate this. And I'll try to just conform it to what I need here. Rebuild it. And you want to use as few points as possible without messing up the shape. So that works. Just want to make sure it's not too messed up here. Yeah, I guess no issue moving that there. There's no issue moving that there. All right, now we should be able to delete those little pieces. I don't know what I was doing for a second there. And then even this. Scale that down a little bit. Yeah, I guess it is kind of hard because when we started doing this, oh, I have an EK hat. Yeah, check it out. I got an EK coupe on my channel. I got a bunch of content on that. It is a little harder going back from working with surfaces to going back to just sketching out lines because I changed the overall dimensions. So now it's a little bit trickier to get everything to kind of line up perfectly again. Like I said, it's let's try that one more time. So we'll delete this. I basically just want a carbon copy of this curve here. Let's try. What would be a good way to do this? You can do a spline curve. Try to duplicate this one more time. Just want to make sure it's perfect. Bring it in a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's pretty close there. Draw a new line. And then we'll trim away these pieces. Alright. And then we can lock the two edges together. Good deal. And there is our lip again. Sorry, I took a little bit there. Alright. And then I wonder if I can bring that wheel back. Anyway, we when we built the original kit, we're using these wheels too. Let's see here. I don't need to see the whole thing. Just looking for the wheel. Like that. Before it was pretty easy to select just the wheel. I'm out of practice. And then we'll take the rest of this and hide it. Bring the wheel on back. You can see just kind of how it's going to tuck in there. So we're probably going to have it lower just a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, it'll be right in there. It should look pretty good. Obviously, when you space the wheel out a little bit, that kind of lowers the car too because there's a little bit more force on it. But yeah, not too bad. We'll change the material there. Make it black. Or dark gray at least. Pretty cool. Alright, so that's the front then. Or at least that's that piece. We'll just focus on this piece today. Yeah, that's just about perfect. That's kind of exactly what we were going for. And then as far as attaching it to the car, I was thinking about closing up this gap here. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And do I want to move that in a little bit? Maybe I do. All right, let me delete this here. Just the face. I could move this control point in just a little bit, I think. Yeah, see there's a little kink there. I don't want that. I want it to be pretty straight. Come on. Yeah, because then it's weird. Like if you duplicate off of an edge, then it doesn't want to let you kind of mess with that anymore. It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, we got those pretty close. Can somebody say finish it in post-processing? Alright. Now, since it's rebuilt, I should be able to move this. Yep. Just to get that as straight as possible. I'll do the same thing over here. I thought I had it pretty straight. Yeah, it looks good over here. I don't think we have to touch that side. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and close that gap again. Using those as guides. Then, yeah, it's like, do I want to close this off between here and the car and then solidify it? Or do you think I should just cut it out here and then leave that gap open there? Because if I close that off, it's going to be a nice rock collector. But it might also help if I close that piece off. And the scan data is a little iffy here. And let's see here. I can rebuild this face. Yeah, let's try it. Let's just build a quick triangle. Just try to close this off. Patch that up. Well, we should be able to patch it up. Let's see. Yes, sir. Alright, so that's patched up now. And then as far as this line here, because you gotta remember, we gotta be able to take this thing out of a mold. So there's a couple things you gotta think about here. A lot of like the draft angles, so you don't really want like 90 degrees going back to the car. You want like at least 3 degrees. Like this looks pretty good. I think we can cut this a little bit. Yeah, you know what? I'll probably add that piece after the fact. I could always bond it with 3D printer, but I might add those pieces after the fact. It might help a little bit. as far as right here, looks like this is going not the right way. Well, actually when the kit's on there it might look fine. But I could see possibly maybe cutting this. Yeah, we'll solidify this and then we'll cut it. Just cut it straight across. So I think this is looking good though. Not digging in too much over here. That all looks good. We could probably, maybe we could bow this out a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna delete this for now. I don't think we need it quite yet. I just want to get it functional to print, and then yeah, I can make those pieces later. But this line right here, we're gonna want to take that face and we pull the center section out a little bit. So what would be a good point for that? Maybe right here. Drop that down. Oh. And pull it out just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. And it's a lot to look at. And this can come out a little bit. This one here. There we go. Something a little more like that. So yeah, this is a very slight curve. That we're nicing on the car. That looks good. Alright, this got a little bit of a wave to it, so we can fix that. Let's bring it down just a tiny bit. Bring this one up a tiny bit. No, I don't want to touch that one. Alright, so now let's see how we're going to turn this into a print or an actual something we can mold. So I'm going to take both these sheets here. I'm going to join them together. Oh, doesn't want to do that. If you're trying to join two sheet bodies, select both bodies and join them. That's what I'm trying to do. Well, let's pull that edge out a little bit more. That looks like touching just a little too much. There we go. All right. So make sure that looks smooth. So there's probably gonna be a lot of post-processing with this kit, but I think we're looking pretty good. Let's see. We're at the final stages now where you want to kind of be more of a perfectionist. But just to get proof of concept here and see if I can actually make a mold out of this thing, we're going to go ahead and try it here. So I'm going to take both the faces here, both the sheets, if we could join them. No coincident edges could be found. Oh, nice. Curves. What I might have to do is just go back. Yeah, maybe I do have to go back to the drawing board then. Yeah, I think that's going to have to be the case. That's unfortunate, but I think, yeah. It doesn't really like you building off of them, because these sheets should join just fine. Will not be found. These edges are definitely touching. You know? Maybe we'll just go... We'll clean up these lines a little bit. Maybe we trim this piece. Yeah, it should be touching. Oh, there's a tiny gap there. Yeah, that's tricky. Oh, you know what? It's because after we after we drew that loft there, then we rebuilt the face and we shifted it around, so we created gaps there. That's the problem. Okay, so we got to get rid of this piece again. Not that piece, but this piece here. We got to get rid of that. We could leave our line. That was perfect. Sorry, that's my bad then. Okay, so now, hopefully, I should be able to maybe even delete that line. I should be able to select this edge and this. Off between the two. Alright. Ooh, and I can even add a nice little curve too. But now we're going to use these as guides. Oops. I think I'm going to have to, maybe I'm going to have to, well, actually let's delete this. And then yeah, we'll lock between these. Let's use G0. Okay, that'll give us a hard edge. Well, that's kind of cool. That's good to know. We could do a G1 and kind of give us like a softer edge there. That's not a bad look. Leo, if you're here, what do you think about that soft edge there? It'll be easier to pull from. Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of like that. That's not bad at all. Let's see, is everything all? Yeah, everything looks good there. So it's G1 continuity. That's not bad. And you can change the tension on that edge so you can kind of make it shiny again. Oh, yeah, that's not bad at all. I kind of like that. What's G2 look like? Okay, so that's even more defined edge. G1 or G0. G0 is just a very hard. I kind of like smoothing it out a little bit. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, that ain't bad at all. That is not bad at all. Yeah, maybe we could do that in the rear end too. I'm gonna leave it like that. I kind of like that. So we'll go to the rear, and maybe we'll do the same thing back here. So we can get rid of this panel. Well, actually, yeah. Let's just jump right into trying to make a mold out of this first. So make sure everything's lined up good. Yeah, that looks cool. Oh, and you've got to make sure that these are both. It should let us join them together now. Yep, alright. So that was the problem. We created that lofted edge there, and then we shifted around the face of the flare itself, and that caused gaps between the very front-facing edge and the actual flare itself. So after joining them together and smoothing out that edge, we now have one solid sheet, but it's not an actual like solid piece. It's not thick. It's just a sheet. So. But everything looks good here. I think I like how everything turned out. Get rid of this tire. Yeah, that's not bad at all. So let's go ahead and take it off the car. Boop. And then usually, if we're just doing a couple millimeters, everything is what do I say? Everything's scaled correctly now. So if I thicken it by 2 millimeters, it'll actually, what the heck has happened? It'll actually thicken it by 2 millimeters exactly. It'll be perfect in the real world. So we'll try that. Sometimes the thicken works, sometimes it doesn't because of self-intersections. Let's just try this. 0.02 meters. No, paycheck fails, didn't like that. It might be a little tricky with that curve there. Okay, so that's all right, yeah. Oh, yeah, we don't want 0.02. I didn't know it was in millimeters. We just want 2 millimeters. There we go. Yeah, 2 millimeters is all we need. Perfect. Yeah, that's very nice. And I see we got that little lip on there. Now that's a solid, that's really easy to cut off. It's hard to trim stuff up when it's not solid. Alright, so now we got it thickened. And since it's a solid, we're going to celebrate. We're going to change the color. Let's make it blue now. And we'll put it back on the car, just so we know exactly where to cut. Sorry for the slow start to today's video, guys. If you're just joining the stream, it's been a while. Oh, sorry guys. Sorry. The chat I read, it's so dumb. On my streaming software, they have a top chat thing, so it'll give me those, but I don't get to see all of them. So let me catch up to make sure. Sorry about that here. Okay, live chat shows everything. Cool. Sorry, I was trying to kind of cut it. I think it looks great. It makes the big girl curvy. Haha. Okay, so Leo likes the the rounded edges. Cool. Yeah, I like that too. I think yeah, having that nice. It's an aggressive edge, but it's not. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's kind of cool, and it's one of a kind. I don't see too many people with that style. And yeah, as long as we're pulling it out of the mold. Yeah, this way, yeah, it should be just fine. Yeah, see that? We don't like that little lip there. So what we're gonna do is we want to reshape this anyway because we don't like the way this is angled. You could see. Let's actually close down the mesh. Well, no. We open up the image here and turn off the scan. Kind of see, it's kind of a low resolution image. I haven't bought in the high resolution, but we're slanted a little upwards. This got to slant down. So let's go ahead and bring that scan back up. If you squint your eyes, you can see what we're working with. It's slanted down, we're kind of slanted up here. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna make a line. I don't want it to snap to the grid and I don't want it to snap to the object. I just want to make it out in space here. And we're gonna do just like that. And then I could take this line, I think I just hit C and select the target body here. Select the cutter, we already know what we're gonna use to cut it. And I press OK. And then this piece, you can do whatever you want. You can go around and play with it, give it to your dog, but it is cut off. So that's how we get a nice clean cut there. And that'll be perfect. We'll use that same line to cut this bottom portion. So I'm gonna hold on to that. This guy, I don't know. What do you do with him? We're just gonna delete him. Then we're gonna do the same thing over here. So if you're looking straight on, do you want it to dip down a little bit or do you just want to cut straight across? You know what I'm saying? I think we might just want to cut maybe just a little bit straight across. I don't know. It kind of gives it it's kind of a nice style when it kind of flares out like that. But say he ever wanted to put some, wicked side skirts on this thing, it would probably play nicer with the side skirt if we just went straight across. Elijo, if you're watching, what do you think? Do you think we should just take this line here, this body line, just go straight across, or do you like the way it goes down like that? While we wait, I might make a rectangle. A big old rectangle here. Yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of. Oh, we gotta move it a little closer. It's like, oh wait, our gap's all messed up. No, I just gotta move it closer to the car. There we go. Yeah, it is on there. That's cool to see. From the other side. I think cutting across is the better decision. I'll be back for some side skirts. All right, sounds good. Yeah, there'll be less fucking around when it's time for side skirts. I've still got so much like trial and error. Like I said, it's still a very new thing. Like I said, you got guys out there that are they're printing their entire car. And I've talked with this one dude that he 3D printed a hardtop, and he skinned it. But I don't know if he's using the exact same techniques I was using. And like if it's a really large flat panel that's gonna be right out in the sun, I'm sure his was black. Yeah, even with the fiberglass skinning on both sides of the part, he was having it sag and it was super heavy. But I think he was printing like really thick parts and then sandwiching them, which kind of defeats the purpose. If you just do a 2mm solid core layered on both sides, you should have a really durable isometric sandwich that should really hold up. However, I don't know. Sun can be pretty wild. He's got a black car too. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But the sun beats down on him a little bit harder. So there might be. I don't know. Like there's this guy. Like you see that Ding Dong Drift. He's got his SC300. Well, let's make this cut here, and then we'll hop on Google, and I'll talk to you guys about some stuff. So To make this cut, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and take this line since I know it's nice and straight. You know, let me select that line, please. I'm going to take this line and I'm going to extend it. Oh, it's just an edge. I'm going to make it okay. Oh, I just got to select the point. That's what I got to do. Just select the end point. Extend. We're just going to go, wow. See where that ends up. Nope. Ah! And just extend it straight across. And then I'll take that line, bring it out to the front where we can see it. Now we're just going to go straight out. Boop. Then from the side, there you go. So with the scan I was given, that's our straight line. That's the bottom of the car right there. Or at least that's the bottom of the doors. The line at the bottom of the doors. That's what you get. And if I pull up the image, now the image isn't scaled. The image is scaled really close, but it's not 100% perfect because it's a little blurry. But you can see that's where that is. If I turn off the side profile, you can see, lines up pretty good. You can see it's I think I forgot if it's a little small or a little big, but there's a little bit of size variance to this. It's not 100% perfect. Yeah, because it's like I use this line here as a guide. I'm at like the 500 or 5,267 millimeters, but with how blurry it is, who knows if I got it exact. You know, I made a line to help scale it, but it might not be perfect. However, what is perfect and to scale is the 3D scan. So for the most part, I want to work off of this. Anyway, like I said, I got bodywork experience too. If I have to clean it up when I'm done, it's not the end of the world. And it's probably going to happen. That's like any body kit. They even say that like if you order a body kit online, have it done by a professional shop. And a lot of them, they fit terrible. So they take a lot of work. But this one's, hopefully, I want to have very little post-processing work, stuff that I can finish up in like a week, if that, if necessary. But anyway, we extended this line. Now we're going to use it as a cutter, but you got to look at it straight on. Otherwise, it's going to cut it at a weird angle. So I think I hit, we already moved it, so I hit C. I'm going to cut this, and that's our cutter. So we're all good, and boop. And that means we can take this guy, boop, and toss it out. See you later. We don't need you anymore. All right, so then we just got our solid. Now we can finally take it off of the car. No, not the face, the whole thing. Off the car, boop. Looking good. Check reflections. Reflections look good. Yeah, not too bad. There's a little wave here, but that's because it's got to fill that weird contour right there. So yeah, it does look like there's a little bump there, but that fits in kind of this little bump here. You see, it curves in, but then this also curves in. So since this curves in and this curves in, that's why that's there. But like I said, from the side, it's the same profile. I had to do the same thing with my body kit for the Civic. If you look at it straight on, yeah, the way it has to like wrap around the bumper and the headlight, it is very strange. But then you look at it from the side or like directly from the front, and it looks awesome. All right, so I think cutting across. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm going to try to do is make this thing able to be put into a mold. So maybe for now I'll duplicate it. And then I'll hide one of them. I'll just work with this guy. So how am I going to make a mold out of this? Let's go ahead. We'll hide all this for now. keeping the scan. And we're just focused on this guy. And I found a good way to keep your camera kind of focused around this is just create a little sphere. And you can take that sphere, move it on up. If you kind of move it like right above the part, then every time you drag around, you just put your mouse on that. Then it kind of keeps you in the zone here. Otherwise, if you take your mouse over here and you drag, it's like, oh shit, where'd the part go? You know, it becomes a big headache. But if I keep my mouse on here, doesn't matter how crazy I get with this thing, we always go right back to the part. So that's a pro tip for you guys. So, all right, I'm gonna use this basically as a cutting tool to cut into, I think I'll just make a big rectangle. It's probably the best move. So, and it looks like it would all fit in this rectangle right here. So let's just do that. And we'll do snap to grid. Oh, I think these are 10, these must be 10 millimeter. Oh, it was a 100 millimeter section. Okay, yeah, that works. All right. Do it in this grid here. Oh, no. Just gonna build a little box around it. There we are. And then I'm gonna take this box and let's see, how tall do we need to make it? Take these lines here, run over. Up it. Then we'll close it out. And then we're going to extrude that surface. And we are going to make it just as tall as this. I think, yeah, let's just make it like a block. Okay, that only extruded the edges. We wanted to extrude the face, not the lines. That's my bad. I should have selected the face and then extruded that up. We want to be just a little bit taller than the fender. Now I'm still this is still kind of an idea. I don't know exactly if this is going to work. Alright. Now I think what I got to do is take all of these edges and extend them this way. Let's see. Yeah, my idea is to take this guy and move it on over here, kind of put it into the block, and then use a Boolean operation. And I do, yeah, difference. So select tool body. Press OK. Oh, actually, I want to do this. So I want to go new. Okay, I want to keep the tool. Try that. Okay. Move my guy out of there. Did that work? It didn't look like it worked. Let's try that again. Oh, I think so select bodies to cut or join into. Cutting this, and we're cutting it with this. Oh, and then you can choose kind of where you want to put it. Okay. Now, what options do we have? Keep tools. So you definitely want to keep the tools. Difference, intersect, scale, advanced. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Okay, so if I hit OK here, basically what I did is I cut the shape of the fender into there, but I need the fender to be like way, I don't know how to explain it. I need it to be way thicker. I guess I gotta like bring it back. What is the best way to do that? Oh, you know what? I know the best way to do that. We have to copy this edge. Copy this edge that goes all the way around, and hopefully this works. I know how we're going to do this. A lot of trial and error, but we're learning together, guys, so. Oops. My wife's laughing at something in the other room. I don't know what's so funny over there. Alright, so I'm going to take all these backside edges and I'm going to, can I join them? I think I can. I think I just did. I'm going to duplicate them. Perfect. Oh, that's exactly what I need. Perfect. Okay. And I'm just going to make it super long. All right, yeah, this is gonna work. Actually, let me duplicate that again. We could even forget about using this one. Okay. This might just work. All right, I take this edge, and I take this edge, and I'm gonna try to loft between the two to make so basically one solid plug here. Man, I hope this works. That would be really cool. All right, please work, please work. Oh shit! I think it worked. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it did. Oh, that is cool. Oh, but I do lose I lose my curved surface. I lose any definition that's going on here. So that's no big deal. All I got to do then is I'll have to use this part. That's all right. I just have to select these edges again. Which is a little annoying, but it's no big deal. Yeah, hopefully this works. It should work. So that edge and that edge. And if I loft, hopefully it understands what I'm trying to do. No, it doesn't know what I'm trying to do. Let's see. How am I going to go about doing this? What if I just try one edge at a time? Nah, it doesn't want to do that either. Dang. What do I do here? Yeah, we almost had it there. We just had two of these. Actually, we had two of these duplicated, but man, maybe I could just duplicate I don't think I can. Because I gotta keep this. Let's see, how am I gonna do this? Do I basically have to treat this? No. I can't do that. How am I gonna do this here? Maybe what I'll do is I'll just take every... it should work though. Like select this edge, that edge, that edge. Oh, I wonder... I don't know. Let's see. I'll try selecting all the edges, joining them, and then lofting one more time. I'll join them all when it's still on the part, and then I'll loft it, and then I'll take both the sheets, and I'll see if I can combine the two. I'll see if I can combine the lofted sheet with the solid here. That might work. Maybe I just forgot about one. I don't know. I think we got them all. Okay, can I join them? So I think it let me join them. Maybe. What's this do? Oh, I was gonna try to. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. I do not want to fillet it. Try to join them all. No, I want to join. Damn. Oh, there we go. I just had to press G0. Okay. What the heck is going on here? I don't know how it extended in front there. Oh, let's see. What if I have GY? No. What? So it's like I got both sides of the mold right now. I didn't need that. But I think that might work for us. What happened there? That's weird. I don't know why it extended beyond. I need to bring this edge on back. Well, that was weird. I don't know what happened there. Let me try that again. I think I can actually go find boundary edges. If I select the face, I can find boundary edges. Oh wait, what's this? Draft face? Is that what I need? What does that do? Oh, is this so I can change the draft angles? Very interesting. I don't know what I was gonna try to do. Select these. I don't know. What if I just push this back? Is that gonna do anything? Oh, nope. Let's see what that messes up. It's thinking. Yeah, I figured that wasn't gonna work. All right, but I should be able to go find boundary edges. Just a fast way to highlight the edges there. Oh. Nice, okay. Take that. And I'll take this and try to loft again. It does not want to do it. That's weird. What is the best way to do this? What if I just take the face of this thing? Can I join those? Okay, so it's going to join the faces here. To fit the surface of the faces. Dang it! Duplicate these. Can I loft between the two parts? Is it going to let me do that? Oh, yeah, because this is more of an edge here. Oh, please work. What? Alright, I don't know why that happened, but that's something. At least we have an edge there. Oh, I see what's going on here. It only wanted to go up to here. It's like that was creating like an invisible force field there. That's okay. That's alright. See if I can do the same thing here. Okay. Kind of a painful way to do this, but we're doing it now. Do more than one at once here. All right. And hopefully, yeah, after this I can just extend all these edges. But we're getting somewhere now. And I'll see if I can, yeah, change the draft angle too. That'd be kind of nice. These edges. This is all right. This is working now. Supposed to get there. All right. Well, actually, you could make a mold off the inside of this thing. You could pull, so you can lay parts on the inside, or you could lay. I mean, you could even do it on the outside. But my plan is to take this and stamp it into here, and hopefully that works. But I actually think I'd have to patch this whole piece here. So let's go ahead. And I'm a little sleepy today. I'll hide this guy. I'll hide these curves here. And maybe we could fill at these edges. That might help. Well, let's try this. Let's see what that draft face was. That was locate geometry for face. Sorry, that didn't work. That's okay. Maybe we can do that later. See if I could fill the back side of this thing, or even extend this back edge. If I could select all these edges and extend them, that would be awesome, because I think I need to make it just a little deeper. Before I select them, let's see. Okay, that's cool. Now let's see if I can do the whole thing. People watch probably like, what the heck is this guy doing? I don't know, I'm still figuring it out. Alright. I don't want to extend that way. extent? Okay, linear. Yeah, I think linear. Boundary edges are not. Oh, I see, I see. Because that would be a self-intersection there. What I need to do is plug this and extrude the whole face. So hopefully it lets me do that. Okay. I'm confused. But we're doing something here. Okay. So now if I can patch this here, then I think we're gonna be in business. I think we got a nice little plug here to use as a cutting tool. Otherwise, I could always see if I could like draft out these edges and then lay stuff inside, but I think this is gonna work here. Oops. Maybe. Sometimes it might not see these edges as a... Oh my goodness. It might not see these edges as like legitimate lines. So maybe it won't let us patch it, but I really hope it does. That would be really cool if it did. I gotta stop clicking the wrong stuff here. Even if it's like the ugliest patch in the world, if we can close this thing up and make it a solid, that's gonna be really nice. Alright. Everybody pray, please. Please let this thing close up nice. Please let us just do one clean patch and make a solid out of this guy. That would be so nice. Alright, we'll try Shift J first. Gap in supplied boundary edges, we'll try... Is there a gap in supplied boundary edges? I don't think so. I don't think there is. Oh, what? Is that what it's talking about? Did that one sheet, yeah, that one sheet just got extended a little too far. Wow. Okay, let's see if we can bring that in a little bit. Oh no. Dang. Are you serious? We look good everywhere else? Oh no. Oh, that's okay though. Maybe what I can do is slice it this way. Try that. I don't know. I've struggled with slicing the sheets before though, but we'll give this a shot. I'll slice it right down here. Cut this guy. Yep. All right. Please work. I think it worked. Oh, I only selected that one sheet though. I gotta select the whole thing. Can I at least join these all together? I think so, yeah. Can I join all these faces together? Probably not. try to select all the faces then. I know there's got to be an easier way to do this. What the heck? There we go. Got that, got that, got that. So that looks like I cut a big chunk of it. I think I just gotta cut this piece now. Other pieces. We're trying our best here. Okay. That's a nice clean cut there. Let's get rid of this. Cool. It looks like we still gotta cut this piece here. Alright, well that's good then. Now I wonder if this will all be considered one flat plane here and it'll let me plug it up. That'd be really cool. That would be really cool. Because it should all be intersecting at this point. Alright. Please join together. I think that worked. Very nice. And now that it's joined, I bet you that means I can make this as long as I want. Hell yeah. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Okay, well, does that mean I can patch it now? That'd be really cool. Alright. Please, Jesus. Oh, yeah, no, doesn't work. A patch to fill a hole is created but cannot successfully be attached to the target body. Oh, really? Is there any way it can? What if I do X nerves patch? It'll be ugly, but it might work. Or maybe I just gotta start sectioning off pieces. let's try that. Shift F4 like. X nerves. Oh shit! Good old X nerves came in handy. That totally worked. Hell yeah. Alright. Does that mean we got a solid now? Are they considering this a solid? Not yet. Probably not until I join everything, huh? Oh man, I think we're onto something here. Please, please work. So if I select all these faces here. Oh man, I hope this works. Let's see, there's so many of them. So I consider all one face there. Will that join together? That's all those. Oh, hell yeah. All right. Very nice. So we got a solid. Thank goodness. All right, so now we could use this as a cutting tool. Oh my God, what a pain in our was, but we got it. We got it. Okay. We need to, I don't know if we're gonna have to redo this here. Maybe, yeah. That's cool. We got a face here. I'm in the mood to extrude. I definitely got to make these different colors because this is hard to do. We'll make this yellow. And we will make this, I don't know, we'll make this blue. Alright. So yellow is going to go into blue and it's going to cut it. And then blue is going to be basically, that's our mold right there. And then we're going to slice up blue into chunks that we can print out and glue together, and we have a perfect negative mold. This would be considered a positive plug. This is going to be a negative mold. This is usually, you guys have probably seen where they take like CNC machines and they carve out negative molds. Well, we're going to do it without any machines, just a computer here. Please, I hope this works. All right. Select target bodies to cut or join into. So we want to cut this one. Select bodies to cut or join with. This guy. And then it's different because we don't want to join them together. We want to use this one as a cutter. So as you can see now that it's highlighted red, that means it's ready to cut. We're going to bring it on over. And it's thinking. And basically we want to go as far as, so that's going through the side. Look at that, that's kind of cool. That's what we went all the way through the side. It's fun to look at, huh? That's kind of cool. Basically, we're cutting out this shape. I want to make sure, I'll turn X-ray on to make sure everything looks good. But we're going to just get it inside. Make sure it's still flat on this side. So as long as everything's flat over here, yeah, that should be good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now we cut this. Oh, did I select keep tools? I don't remember if I did. Then this piece will back on out. Oh, hell yeah. There you go. There is your mold. Oh, that's cool. All right. Now, obviously, we don't need the sides to be that deep. So I think what we can do now, thank you, is we could take this. Wow, that's cool. We could take this face here and bring it on in. I think right now we can only bring it in 1 millimeter at a time, or 10 millimeters at a time. Yep, so I got to turn off the snap to grid there. Is that moving the whole thing or just the face? Oh, perfect, just the face. So we want to get as shallow as we can before it gives us an alarm. Oop, too far. I really got to think about this one. Ah, man, I can't believe we did it. I'm just gonna do a little bit at a time. I think the computer's thinking really hard right now. Man, that's so cool. Oh, so that was too much right there. So there is a limit. That's probably it right there. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, you lay your fiberglass right in there. And then, like, that'll even kind of make it come out to the body just like we wanted. Oh, that is nice. That is nice. We have made a fiberglass mold. That is so sweet. And then we could cut out, like, there's big chunks where we're not going to need. Obviously, we don't want to, like, waste filament on that. All right, that is freaking sweet. Okay, so let's cut that. Wow. I'm very, very excited about that. That is awesome. Wow. And look at that. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of slice this up. I guess we can make the box a little smaller. I suppose that's an easy way to do it at first. Lauren, I did it. Are you doing okay?
Peachy.
Oh, look at that. I made a fiberglass mold. You could lay fiberglass in this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So now I'm shrinking it up so you don't need any more. So there's not excess material that we don't need to print, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it took me a while, but we figured it out. Very excited.
Oh, is it still snowing?
It's still just a little bit, yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Jeez Louise. But isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot of work. But yeah, this is a plug that we made. This is the plug. And this is the mold that we made out of the plug.
Nice.
So now we just gotta print the mold.
There's some semblance of dinner downstairs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I do.
Thank you. I'll be down there in a second.
Okay.
We're just getting ready to wrap it up. I just wanted to get to this point so that we have something we can print and start laying fiberglass in. That's sweet. Oh, that's exciting. That is so exciting. So now it's like we got a problem with draft angle. So let's see here. When you pull a part out of a mold, it's nice if these walls right here, like these guys, aren't going straight back towards you. You kind of want them V'd out. I think they say 3 degrees is ideal. So how do we do that? How do we do that? I think, well, one way is we could create chamfers. That might work. I gotta text Leo here. All right. Yeah, so now we gotta focus on draft angle. Like I was saying. I'm not sure exactly how to do that. Like I said, there was that draft face. What does that do? Can I select this face? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that works. But I think, I mean, what I could do is select all these edges and try to chamfer them. See if that works. Chamfer them all the way down to the part. Might be a little crude. I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, like, for example, if we just wanted to chamfer this edge, yeah, that begins to kind of mess it up. Could do it a little bit. I know that would help for sure. That would definitely help. But it's not 100% what we want to do. I wonder what is the best way to do this. Thinking. It's got a lot to think about here. Let's see, what would be a good way to do this? Can I just draft these faces? That's one thing, I've never used the draft face function. Okay, so I selected two faces there. I think I should be able to. You see throughout the stream, you see the sun go down, and I just have this light on my face. That's funny. I mean, yeah, this would work. I could pull a part out of this, but it would be easier if I was able to. Yeah, kind of create better draft angles for you guys. Like, what would be a good way to do that? I don't know if I could take this face and rebuild it. I'm not sure if I can adjust that. Oh, that might work. That might work. And then just select those points. I don't know. This would be really crazy if this works. Can I scale those points down? Oh, shit! That's what I'm talking about. That's one way to do it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, that totally works. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. And I could even take, what I really need to do is take the other ones and scale them down. It's right on the inside. Those are going to be important. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Easy draft angle. Oops. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So we got rid of that 90. We really smoothed that out. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that with all the faces, but that would be really cool. Because like these, maybe if we could join these, it would. I don't know. It's going to be tricky. We'll just try to rebuild this one face. Whoa, that's wild. 5. Yeah. 2. Oh, 9? I'm just guessing. Okay. Then I'm going to take these. And I'm going to just maybe moving this way. Beautiful. That totally works. We'll do the same thing with this face. Rebuild, tolerance, 5. 3. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I like that. Oh, I think, yeah, we want the bigger numbers, the better. Okay, so we're going to take that. We're going to take these here. It's going to start becoming a mess, probably. And those we got to bring down. Oh, that's nice. Bring it down. We can bring it this way too if we wanted to. Yeah, that cleans up that angle. So they want 3 degrees. We're giving them a little more than 3 degrees, but yeah, we're doing it. Same thing here. Rebuild face, tolerance, 10. All right, same thing here. Okay. I guess these I just want to scale up, spread them out. Oh, no, not like that. That's not what I want to do. I guess maybe it is best I select the ones farther out. Move them up a little bit. Does that do anything? Oh, there we go. Move them way up. That's very cool. Alright, so that's the edge there. These ones on the outside. Go this way. Is it the 3 degrees is all we need? Yeah, we can move these out. It's got a limit there. We're right on the limit. It's thinking. But that's basically it. I mean, you guys kind of get the gist of what I'm going for here. I'm just rebuilding these faces. Just kind of tweaking them a little bit to get them. There we go. computer's getting a little angry at me now. But yeah, that one's alright. That one's like that. That'll be fine. But yeah, so I'll hide those. But that's basically it right there. So we have a functional mold with negative draft angles. Of course, I still have to rebuild these 3 faces, but that's it right there. So I'm gonna clean it up a little bit, take out a couple more chunks, but that's the process. So we definitely learned a little bit more today. I'm probably working on it a little bit more tonight and tomorrow. We got a crazy snowstorm going right now, so but yeah, we made it. We made a mold that we could print in real life. Just got to chop it up into 250 millimeter by 250 millimeter pieces, and this will work. So yeah, thank you guys for joining the journey here. Yeah, that was fun. Crazy learning curve. I still have so much I got to learn. I don't think I've yet to see anybody make a negative mold in plasticity yet, so we might be the first ones to do it on YouTube, which is pretty sweet. Maybe when I'm done with all these like long video series, I'll try to make something really cool, just a 10-minute wrap up everything that I've learned. But yeah, this is just for showing everybody kind of how I'm learning along the way. Maybe you guys can learn a little something too. So thank you guys once again for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. I got another EP3 SI video coming up and some more NSX videos coming up. I got a lot of cool videos coming up. So see you then. Bye-bye.